Why should clients use a cross-border expert advisor?
Well, first of all, assuming that they need one, a typical client that would need one would be one who's living in country A but has assets in country B, C, D, wherever that might be. So, typical example of the British expat who's moved to France, Italy, Spain, wherever, still got UK pensions. They need to know how their UK assets will interact with local rules. So, you need an advisor who, first of all, has that expertise, that knowledge, and that experience of dealing with similar people because no one's completely unique. And then also from a regulatory point of view, so you need to deal with someone who is regulated in to advise you in the country where you live, and also has that expertise and correct regulation to advise on the assets that you have.
What is the best part of being an advisor in the OpesFidelio network?
So I've been in the industry for 13 years and been a member of the network for 7 years. Back then, I was just starting out with my own company, and OpesFidelio was also quite in its infancy. And I'd say our success has sort of grown in parallel together. So what I really value is the support of the network. This is an industry where there's a lot of egos and a lot of people driven by greed and uh, their own benefit. Let's say OpesFidelio is not like that. It upholds the highest levels of integrity, highest standards of regulation. It's always ahead of the curve in terms of knowing where the goalposts are going to move to when it comes to regulation, what you can and can't do, and how to do it, and the best practice. So it's reassuring, helps me sleep at night, knowing that the people at the helm are in control and know what they're doing. And then at a network level, we're all similarly minded advisors. We collaborate with each other. There's other firms and networks who try and create competition between advisors, and I'd say here it's the opposite. OpesFidelio is all about collaboration. So, for example, if I've got a client in Spain and I know there's someone else in the network who's got certain expertise, I can ask a question to him, and vice versa. If someone needs help with a client moving to Italy, then they know they can call on me. So that collaborative aspect is really invaluable.
Awesome, thank you. And talking about today, what are the key takeaways from this conference?
So again, it's always a positive vibe coming here and seeing colleagues that perhaps you only see once a year. Obviously, we're all in touch throughout the year, but it's great just coming together and sharing the highs and the lows. We all face the same challenges, but it's great seeing that we're all succeeding, and markets are doing well at the moment. So that's always great. Hearing from fund managers that can talk you through the sort of macro aspects of the economic world at the moment. And then just to know what's going on at network level with the technology. And I think that was a key sort of takeaway from today, was how to implement technology and AI and sort of lead from the front with that and not get left behind. And at the end of the day, what drives us is focusing on client outcomes. So if we're looking at technology, how does that, if that makes our life easier, how does that then benefit clients and improve their outcomes? Because at the end of the day, that is what we should all hold in mind.
One last question. Um, what is the number one reason why everybody should invest?
Well, maybe everybody shouldn't invest, but everybody should try and get into a position where they can invest. There's a certain hierarchy of needs. You shouldn't invest if you have debt, for example. Make sure you've cleared that, make sure you have enough cash, make sure you have insurance. But then certainly be in a position to invest, and depending on where you live, there may be incentives to help you invest. So like in the UK, they incentivize people with ISAs and personal pensions, so they're less of a burden on the states when they're in retirement. And fundamentally, you cannot save your way to prosperity. You can only save and invest your way to prosperity. If you're saving and that money's just sitting in cash, then it's rotting away because of inflation. You can save away with every month with discipline, but over 20 years, it's just going to be flat. It's going to lose its purchasing power. The only way is to invest. And of course, that does involve some risk. But there's ways of managing risk. You take the risk that's appropriate for the client's circumstances, their age, their goals, what they can afford, etc., as well as the context of the world we're in. And so, yeah, it's valuable to work with an expert for that who is able to add value. So, yeah, everybody needs to invest, and I think everybody needs to be educated on how to invest. So certain people may have fears about investing, but it's sort of taking away those fears making people realize it's completely normal, and you have to do it. So you have to be educated and learn about it.